Hello, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and Uber might want to watch their back because even though they are still far behind in the rideshare wars, Lyft has actually caught up considerably in the last 6 months, thanks largely to Uber's PR problems. For starters, Lyft has actually got to the point where they are giving out 1 million rides a day. Now, this might be dwarfed by the fact that Uber has just celebrated the 1,000,000th ride, but keep in mind, the million mark a day, that's a pretty big mark, and that's going to come in very handy. It's kind of scary to think that for a long time, Uber was, giving out more than 1 million rides a day, and Lyft was not. And so Lyft always seemed to be in this far-off mirror that, hey, they're just not going to catch up. Well, they now give 1 million rides a day. Not only that, but Lyft's market share has grown from 7% to 19%. Again, Uber still has the majority, but that's nothing to sneeze at. And at least in one area, Chicago, Lyft has actually taken away Uber's market share considerably. Like considerably, to the point where it's almost they've overtaken Uber as the preferred choice for riders and drivers to use. Now, of course, Uber, they're still in a position to more or less stay ahead of the game if they can fix the problems with the service. There is the question, where it's going to go from here. I mean, right now, Lyft is gaining market share because Uber's just doesn't look very good. And when Uber's new CEO comes in, they are faced with a dilemma that, hey, the rates are too low. They're too low for the drivers, they're too low for us, or us being Uber. And we need to raise them. We have to make more money, and we have to do it legitimately. But people won't like it when the prices go up. So they might lose some more market share to Lyft. Now, they have that market share to lose, but this is going to be a very interesting transitional period because Uber definitely came onto the scene with a winner-take-all attitude. We want to put everyone out of business. We want to be the only ones. And as it's been proving, Lyft has not only been more resilient, now they're growing. And they've got the backing of Google now. Google's a partner with them on the autonomous vehicle thing, which Lyft is still not developing their own autonomous vehicles. They just want to be the app that the companies use. That's why you see them partnering with multiple companies. Whenever one of these companies gets their cars on the road, Lyft is the app that's going to be used. And that's if they even show up. Otherwise, Lyft is just collecting money for a service they're not even providing. It's genius, really. But that said, will the prices go up? Because if they go up, they might lose some more market share to Uber. It's going to be interesting to see how the new CEO of Uber actually takes the winner-take-all mentality. I mean, it's something that journalists like to write about. It's something that news reporters like to tout, especially in the business section. Who's going to win the war? Who's going to win this? And the thing is, companies always would prefer to have a monopoly, but it was kind of understood that that was unrealistic. If it happened, the circumstances had to be really good for it to occur. And once you got it, you probably wouldn't have it for very long because the government wouldn't let you have it, or they wouldn't let you keep it. Unless they were Amazon, of course. Well, Uber came in very early when they were effectively the only ones. Then Lyft came on the scene, and it started the pricing war. And Uber basically felt confident enough that they could price Lyft out of business. Heck, they priced Sidecar out of business. So once they killed one, they could certainly kill the other one, but that's not been the case. Lyft is growing, their market share is growing. Heck, the stock shares, the private stock that the companies have been giving out to investors, is currently trading more on the black market than the Uber shares are. So the new CEO is going to be faced with a new task and a new question. Do they continue to put the company's future at risk in hopes that Lyft will go under completely and they will have a monopoly? Or do they accept that Lyft is just going to be part of the equation? And guess what? We tried to put them out of business. It didn't work. We've lost Chicago to them pretty much. We have to make money. Because I personally think the market is better when there's two companies. I'd like there to be 5, honestly. 5 to 10. I just like it to be a whole industry keeping each other in check. And you know what? They would have to figure out, how do you keep the customers and how do you keep the drivers? Because the drivers could leave just as easily. And in Chicago, that's basically what's happened. And I know in California, Lyft is also gaining market share, mainly because drivers stopped driving for Uber, started driving for Lyft. Now, why would that help Lyft? Well, because it makes surge go up for Uber. So passengers download the Lyft app, find out that it's just as good a service, if not a little bit better, and they stick with Lyft because they didn't get burned with surge. So anyway, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Have you noticed Lyft gaining more popularity where you live? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? I'd love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, I may consider becoming a Patreon member or buying some swag from the Great Media Universe store. If you'd like to try driving for Lyft or Uber, I recommend Lyft more, but Uber is also good for a nice bonus. There are referral links below, and the bonus is very nice. It's one of the few things that honestly do make this work worth trying out. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.